We've always had a very limited number of new patients for whatever reason. With the previous group that I worked with prior to you guys last year, with this other company, when I would have sort of the same conversations, it's like it would always be sort of put back on my shoulders, well, you need to review some of these scripts again and rehearse this, and maybe you should come up with your own videos. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, I didn't hire, this company for me to come up with my own videos. And for me, there's tremendous value in working with people that you feel are on the same page with you. And you guys just, I don't know what it is. There's a real desire. You've really taken a lot of the effort, which allows me to put more effort into my own practice. From the time we began, the practice started getting flooded with new patients, but not just new patients, but new patients that seem to be much better qualified compared to, a year ago. That's one of the metrics that I like to use. And those numbers are, easily 50, 60% up. The practice has been, it's been phenomenal. So it's Dr. M at Life Chiropractic Centre in Ontario, Canada. And we run a holistic chiropractic practice. And we've been doing that for over 3 decades. We have a very strong family type of practice, meaning we like to check kids. That's about it.
Love it. Can you give me like a quick description? What was the practice like before we met, and what's been going on, in the last couple of years prior?
So the practice has always run relatively well, but we've always had a very limited number of new patients for whatever reason. And I've worked with a number of other companies to improve that, which is for the most part gone relatively well. However, not all companies are as easy to work with as this company. And so right from the beginning, from the time we began, the practice started getting flooded with new patients, but not just new patients, but new patients that seem to be much better qualified than any other company we've ever worked with. And for a number of reasons, the practice was being promoted as a holistic chiropractic practice as opposed to just a snap, crack, twist. Okay, adjustment, see you later. Which has been a huge value because it's towards what we do here in the practice.
And so since we started working together, how have things kind of shifted up in practice now that you have the increased volume? And I'd love to even touch on some of the numbers. But so far since working together, we've spent about $2,700. So not even a lot of spend there. Driven 58 new patients into the practice. And then we have over $12,000 or about $12,000 of signed on care. Just with the patients, and I know there's a lot of them that are still like TBD. I think we're missing, of those 50, I think we're missing about 20, different, either check-ins or that kind of deal. So this is based on about 40 patients of data. But that's like a 4x return on just the ad spend itself in the first few months. Yeah. How's that been?
100%. Well, the practice has been, it's been phenomenal. And, but again, the people coming in, it's almost like they've been prepped for our practice. It's really interesting. Again, I can only say that because I've worked with other companies. They're not just
right.
It's like they've been prepped, and I think what's happening with the system that's being used here is that people are being qualified and being told they by the interviewer that they want to make sure that it's a good fit, which I love. It's fantastic because even some of the ones that come in, once we get through some of the interview consultation, it's not necessarily a good fit, but those numbers are way down compared to just every random new person who wants a kick at the can and get something, for free.
Yeah, 100%. And maybe you could share a little bit about your goal coming into this before we met, where that mismatch was in your goal and how I know you've been pushing for it for a long time for in your practice, specifically impact the community in the way you want to. But I'd love if you could share a little on that and how you feel now, seeing all the volume, seeing new patients come through the door.
You mean besides having to replace the flooring in my exam room? And I'm not joking. We had the thing was getting beat up. I was replacing flooring last week. Well, for example, just this morning, I just
Yeah.
finished the parents of a young lady that came in a week ago, and for whatever reason was just blown away to where her parents arrived yesterday with her for the
Mm,
purpose of booking an appointment. We just finished doing their new patient exam
yeah.
with them this morning. So the spin-off has also been terrific from the new patients coming in
Mm,
as well, and not feeling like we have to try to satisfy every
hmm.
patient, because I don't think that necessarily ends well. I think just that honesty that can come as a result of having more of the new patient flow coming in.
Hmm.
I think it's a bonus to the practice. You
Totally.
can be more, so you can be more selective. And some of those people it's not that they're not a chiropractic patient, they just don't
Yeah.
necessarily fit our brand of
Yeah.
practice, which is fine because, I've been able to send a number of these people, to the
Yeah.
chiropractor down the road, which
Yeah.
is terrific.
Yeah. So you get to choose the people you know are going to be the best fits when you have this
Yeah.
quality and this style of person coming through the door. I love that. And the
Yeah.
volume coming through.
100%.
Amazing.
Because they're going to refer
Yeah.
probably a similar, they already know
Hmm.
what the expectation is and what the sort
Totally.
of brand, what the style is. And what's
Yeah.
really cool is that when you have some new people sitting here filling in, people start chatting with current patients.
Mm,
And, it's those current patients that have been with me for a while that start having the conversation. So they're
yeah.
doing testimonials. How cool is that? They're hearing it from a patient and not, me.
Right, right. No, that's so good. That's so good. So, as you look at how things have been going in practice, walk me through like where is the practice sitting now? How are the numbers looking? How is the growth looking? Would love to know like anything of like the in practice feel of what you're seeing and how things have been going.
So what I like to do is compare to, a year ago.
Hmm.
That's one of the metrics that I like to use. And those numbers are, easily 50, 60% up.
Oh,
From
let's go.
Yeah. Oh, completely. And again, you start to I was starting to kind of languish after Christmas, January, February. I think we started connecting in April,
Hmm.
but it's been just phenomenal. And again, for me, the key is filling in those available spots.
Right.
you know it's filling in. It drives me crazy to have availability and not have anybody in there, when people's health care, the healthcare
Yeah.
system sucks and people's health has been languishing. So for me, it was
Mhm.
more about filling those spots consistently. And we've been doing that. We probably have about another 30% more where we can fill. And then at some point, how much growth, I'd have to bring in another, chiropractor or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that at this stage of my career that I want to do that.
Yeah.
But for a new practitioner or a mid practitioner who wants to bump it, I think with your system, I think it's endless. I
Yeah.
don't, I think your system just, works.
Yeah. I'm glad. I'm glad you feel that way. And I would love to maybe hear a little bit more about the experience and maybe anything else you'd want to share about your experience with someone else coming in just uncertain on whether they should give it a shot, that kind of deal.
Well, the funny thing is that in the beginning, I actually, because I'm in a relatively small town, so we actually had a couple of people that saw the ad. They didn't book anything, but people were coming in, and I mean, I know the faces. I know when I'm expecting
Yeah.
someone new, and they were coming in, going, "Oh, I just wanted to make sure that this place was for real, like it really existed." And the funny thing is that there's typically patients here, and then right away, but patients going to chime in and go, "Oh, this place for real, all right." We're in the right place. And yeah, just a really healthy, really good vibe.
Yeah.
Um, is the best that I can explain. I had a woman yesterday that came in, a new patient that you guys had booked, and it turns out that she's the wife of a pastor here in town from Peru or someplace.
Yeah.
And as by the time we got into doing some of the assessment, the computer scanning, she said, I got to tell you something. She says, almost from the time that I came in, I just felt this healthy, almost spiritual vibe, which I thought, wow, that's okay, great. I'm glad you noticed that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I think what happens is when you have this flow, it just improves everybody's emotional
Mm,
well-being. There's nothing worse than languishing with spaces to fill and nobody's filling them. It's a
right.
little bit of a
Like it
wet.
pulls you down. The energy is
Yeah,
like sucking it out of you.
yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So things have been feeling more energy giving than energy sucking
hundred
with the
percent.
volume of new patients and type of
Yeah,
people.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. I love that. Is there anything else you'd want to share about your experience working closely with JoJo or closely with our team about just like the way we interact or anything
I
else
think,
that comes to mind?
I'm, Chris, I'm glad you asked that because, again, with the previous group that I worked with prior to you guys last year, um, the difference for me, there's tremendous value in working with people
Mm,
that you feel are on the same page with you, and you guys just, I don't know what it is. There's a real desire, it's palpable.
yeah.
Um, with this other company, when I would have sort of the same conversations, it's like it would always be sort of put back on my shoulders.
Mm,
Well, you need to review some of these scripts again and rehearse this, and maybe you should come
yeah.
up with your own videos. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, I didn't hire, this company for me to come up with my own videos and for me, so
Yeah.
you've really taken a lot of the effort, which allows me to put more effort into my own practice.
Let's go.
I know it's terrific. Yeah,
Love it. I love it. Thank you.
yeah,
That means the world. And I think it's just like genuinely, we just want to see our docs thrive because we know if you're thriving, you're impacting so many patients' lives too. And so it's like a win-win-win where
hundred
we can all
percent.
like help each other with our skill sets and everything.
Yeah, 101%. It's just a pleasure working with you guys. Um, it just, yeah, Mark, Jojo,
Yeah.
yourself,
Yeah.
it's terrific.
I love that.
There's an emotional well-being. It improves when things are going well. It just, all around, and it
Hmm.
impacts your own personal family life. It's not just, what's happening in the practice, more new patients, which is terrific. But the spillover is that it impacts your own personal life and your
Yeah.
family life. And I think that's a super big deal. And we like, I like to celebrate wins. And
Yeah.
and so I think that's another important thing too. It's like a sense of accomplishment. And I think sometimes the mistake is we get so busy we just want to keep going. Whereas
Yeah.
over the years, you learn to say, wait a minute, stop, hold on, let's just sit back and
This is
appreciate
crazy.
just what's going on. Because when you've
Yeah.
got new patients coming in and it's like trying to take a drink off a fire hydrant, there's no time. There's no time. But at some point, you better take that opportunity, to really appreciate just what's going on. So I'm very
Yeah.
appreciative for what you guys do.
Man, I appreciate that a ton. It means the world to like hear that from you. And so thank you for the kind words.
Yeah.
If you're watching this and you're like, hey, should I take the next step? Just book a call. Worst that happens is we're like, hey, this isn't a great fit, and we'll send you on your way. Best thing that happens is it's an awesome fit, and we're able to impact the practice, help you accomplish the goals and dreams you have, to impact more lives, to change up the community, and whatever else you have in mind. But yeah, go do that.